Let's talk about paperwork. What kind of paperwork is involved in a creative finance transaction and how is everybody protected?
Yeah, no, that's a good question too. So paperwork, obviously the same thing as any traditional contract as well. So you have to have a contract initially that goes out to the buyer. Buyers and sellers have to sign it. It's your real estate purchase contract. It's a little different than maybe what your state. Every state has their own version of this. Um, a lot of people have their own version that attorneys have written up or whatever. In a creative transaction, you have one that just explains the terms of your creative deal. So that's going to be the first thing. You have a contract. Um, After that, you're gathering a lot more information because you're taking over someone's mortgage in a lot of these instances. So you got to have mortgage information. You have to understand if there's any debt on the house. That's normal to any transaction. If there's any other debt, we got to understand that. Can we also put that as part of the deal? So solar, for example, we can subject to solar. We can take over those payments on a mirror wrap as well. But there's other things you can't do that with. I'm not going to take over someone's tax liens or things like that. You got to pay those off just like you would a traditional transaction. So the difference is that you're going to have to pay that off to close, and you have to do it out of the down payment because they're not selling their house and going to take those proceeds and pay that off. That has to be part of the down payment to do that, right? So that's the paperwork. To be honest, the best thing you can do is find a really good transaction coordinator because I'm not going to have all the answers on the paperwork. I've done it a bunch of times. I've done some with transactions, some without. And I will tell you, we found a transaction coordinator we really like, Kayla. She was interviewed in your podcast. You guys should go watch it. And Kayla has come in, and it is so nice having her because she is so detail oriented. She'll have all the right paperwork. There's power of attorneys. There are things like that. So that's all the like nitty gritty paperwork. The way we like to structure the deals is we use an all-inclusive deed of trust. So that's our protection thing. That's what gets recorded at title. That's what's created to protect the seller. That's what allows the seller to be able to foreclose if someone doesn't make their payments. There's a lot to it. So again, Kayla, that's whatever. You go watch her video, but without her, that like she helps make it all better. Because you and I have both done these with and without a transaction coordinator. Here's what I found happens without a transaction coordinator. A month after we close, I'm still answering questions. We're still going back and forth just because I'm not that guy. I wish I was sometimes, but maybe I don't. It's fine. Everyone has their thing. But the point is that there's a lot to it. I mean, we could get into this and we could really go through every single document, but I would say understanding how to do a purchase contract is, I think, super important for pretty much anyone doing this type of stuff. It doesn't have to happen on your first deal. There's plenty of people who can help you and you can figure that out. But understanding what you're doing, reading those contracts yourself is super important. And then finding someone like Kayla who can go through and make sure that your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, you're not missing anything. Because the last thing you want is if it's your home or someone else's or you've wholesaled it, it doesn't really matter. The last thing you want is a year from now going, fetch, we messed something up, you know? Because there is more steps than a traditional transaction. This is not just we bought a home, we sold a home. There's some more nuance to it, and so you want to make sure that that's done well, and finding the right person. And we went through. I mean, how many TCs have we used last year? Like 6 or 7 different
At
ones, I
least,
think.
yeah.
And I would honestly, all of them were good. We resonated with one that we're using a lot now. And that's Kayla, and it's I feel like that's kind of the story for a lot of people I know in this industry. They kind of figure out it's the same thing with like who your partners might be or who you're going to buy and sell houses with. Like all of that is the same thing, right? You're kind of finding your tribe, as it were. But yeah, for documents, get a good TC, and then also don't be a moron. Don't be a moron, and all I mean by that is like understand what you're giving someone. It's really frustrating when you talk to a real estate agent or another wholesaler who sends you a contract and then doesn't actually know how to answer any questions you have about the contract. Super frustrating because then it's like, well, you don't even know what you sent me. And then when you start to have this conversation, like, hey, well, we need to get this. Well, why do we need that? Well, we want to be safe. So anyway.
Yeah, and then you clearly haven't explained it correctly to the sellers either, so they don't even know what they're getting into. So it's really important that everyone's upfront and really, the concept of taking over someone's mortgage is very simple. You just take it over, but the execution is a lot more complicated than that, and would not recommend trying this at home without someone that you're partnering with, whether it's a TC or JVing on the deal or something with someone who's a little bit more experienced.
And I
Completely.
think it's important. The important thing too, where they're not just like this person is letting you use their name
Mhm.
and continue to make payments for them, right? Like you're making their payments for them. Their name stays on the loan. Like the like you should definitely figure out how to at least they understand it, you understand it, and then also, really protect that. I mean, that's like they're giving you a lot of trust, quite frankly. And doing obviously the world's not perfect. These deals are going to go bad sometimes. Things are going to happen, but if you can do as much as you can to like earn that trust, and that's documents are a big part of that.
Absolutely.